Okay, let's get started. Just a kind of announcement. If anybody that is with East End, if they might want to stand up and let some other people, they can sit down if we don't have enough chairs. But it looks like we have some more coming in, so great. Okay. Well, let's get started. Welcome and thank you for coming to the fifth Candidate Forum. It's been, East End has hosted this now for the fourth time. This is the fifth. It is our pleasure to do so. This event is held as a public service for the citizens of Alton to hear and meet this year's candidates for the Alton City election. My name is Steve Schwartz. I'm a member of East End. And before I start, I'd like to thank some of our co-sponsors, the Telegraph. Linda Weller is here from the Telegraph. Sam Stem and the radio station, the Big Z. And I believe Doug Jenkins is here with that. And then also the RiverBender.com. And Pat Swarty is here someplace. But thank you very much for co-sponsoring. First, a little bit about East End. East End, many of you might have heard about us. We started back in 1869. We started as the Terravarines. In 1921, we became the East End Improvement Association. And we're best known for the Halloween Parade. We have East End Foundation, which sponsors our scholarship fund and also our donation fund. So just an advertisement on the scholarships. If anybody has a student out there that goes to Alton High, Marquette, or Mississippi Valley, those applications will be in the, should be in the schools here, if not by now, but very, very shortly. So it's called the East End Scholarship. Other groups that I would like to thank are the Alton Young Professionals. We have Dr. Jacob Shear and Scott Yanta here that's going to help us. They're going to collect the cards and for the questions on it and also be on the committee for selecting the questions. A little bit about the ground rules and format of tonight's program. When you walked in, hopefully you got a little note card to write down a question. If you haven't, we'll have people running through the audience or walking through the audience and making sure that you have one. If you don't, just raise your hand. We're going to try to collect those at the end of the Ward 2 when the aldermanic individuals speak. And one note here, please make sure that your questions to the mayoral candidates pertain to city issues and are worded in such a way that all three candidates can respond to them. As mentioned, we'll pick up those questions after the second ward alderman candidate. A couple of side notes. Basically, if you have a phone, like always, if you would appreciate if you would turn them off so there's no rings or anything like that. A little maintenance there. Also, this meeting it is in turn of the East End normal monthly meeting. We have a tradition at the East End meeting that for any individuals that have passed away, we hold a moment of silence. So if we could just take a moment, Don Sandage, former mayor and also an East End member, passed away just recently. So if we could take a moment and remember him for a second. Thank you. Okay, let's go over the format as mentioned. First of all, I'll introduce the unopposed candidates, and if they could stand, we won't be asking them to speak tonight because they're unopposed. The aldermanic candidates will speak first, followed by the mayoral candidates. The aldermanic candidates in wards 1, 2, 3, and 7 will be given 3 minutes each to address the audiences on subjects of their choice. Mayoral candidates will be given 5 minutes each to speak on any subject that they have on their choice also. Candidates will speak in the order in which their names appear on the ballot. We have several write-ins, and so they will be speaking alphabetically. Questions, as I mentioned, will be accepted. If you don't have a card, please raise your hand and we'll get the cards to you so you can write your question. Again, those questions will be screened by representatives of the East End to assure that there's no non-duplication, no similarities, and that they pertain to local issues. Responses will be answered by the candidates on an alternative basis and will be limited to 2 minutes. In the past, as always, we ask that candidates please remain after the night's meeting so that they can talk to any of the individuals that might ask questions or give them their views. First of all, let's do the introduction of the unopposed candidates. Before we start, this forum is being broadcast across the World Wide Web by RiverBender. So as I call your name, please stand up. There's cameras here and there's cameras over here. Please look at them so you can be recognized, if you would, please. First of all, I'd like to introduce Alton City Clerk Mary Bowles. Alton City Treasurer Cynthia Roth. Alderwoman Alice Martin. Alderman from Ward 5, Charlie Brake. Alderman from Ward 6, Gary Fleming. Alton Township Supervisor, Don Huber. And last, Alton Township Assessor, Julie Campbell. This year, as in the past, we have a light show. We'll put it on here, John, if you want to. We've got green, orange, and red. The candidates, when you begin to speak, the green light will be on. And so that will last for the aldermanic 2.5 minutes. With 30 seconds left to go, the orange will come on. And when the red comes on, it's time to stop. We're not the Academy Awards or the Emmys, so there's not going to be music playing. There's not going to be a big hook. But we do ask, because it's a tight schedule, that you adhere to the time limit of 3 minutes and the 5 minutes for the alderman. With that said, let's start the program. And if I could invite Alderman Ward 1, Jim Ryan, Alderman, and candidate Cheryl Roshkob. You get to go first. Cheryl? Jim is on the ballot first, so he gets to go first.
Good evening. First, I'd like to thank the East End for putting on this event. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting evening. I'm Jim Ryan, and it's been my honor to serve on the Alton City Council for the past 10 years. Being an alderman has been stimulating, interesting, frustrating, and sometimes it's even fun. And I have found that my time with the city has been very rewarding. When I get a call from a constituent, I take their request seriously, and most of the time, we have a positive outcome. As you can imagine, I get my share of negative comments about the city of Alton. Sometimes when you've lived in a place for a long time, you don't notice positive changes that are taking place. When people tell me how bad things are, I tell them that in this difficult economy, the city is operating in the black. I tell them that the crime numbers are their lowest in over 15 years. I tell them that Alton has 2 excellent hospitals, as well as a facility at St. Clair's, which is remarkable for a city this size. I tell them that Alton has an award-winning public school system, an excellent Catholic high school, and a variety of good parochial schools. I tell them that we are the home of the SIU School of Dental Medicine and a close friend and neighbor of Lewis and Clark Community College. I tell them that Alton has the best Convention and Visitors Bureau in the state of Illinois, which attracts many people to our area who are potential employers as well as tourists. I tell them that the arts are alive and well in Alton due to such assets as the Alton Symphony Orchestra, the Jacoby Arts Center, and the Riverfront Amphitheater. One thing that I find frustrating is that the people who complain think that improvements just happen. These advancements that I just mentioned are the result of years of hard work by both the city, and private enterprise. To give some examples, the amphitheater is the result of a master plan which was developed over 20 years ago, and it has proven to be a popular and successful endeavor. The historic Cracker Factory building is being renovated after devastating storm damage as a result of a responsible owner working in concert with city assistance. The Simmons Law Firm and Zemer USA Corporation are now housed in large, formerly empty buildings, again with the help from the city, which has resulted in hundreds of new jobs for our area. In my ward, Riverview Park was awarded a $400,000 grant due to hardworking private citizens and city staff. This park is a jewel, and now it will have its potential restored. Now, I don't want to give the impression that everything's perfect. We have plenty of challenges and much hard work ahead. We are continuing to work on a downtown hotel and a movie theater, but I can't emphasize enough the complicated, hard work that this entails. So, I'm fired up and ready to go into the future, and I would appreciate your vote on April 9th. Thank you.
Candidate for Ward 1, Cheryl Roshkow.
Good evening. As you know, I'm running for First Ward Alderman. I wanted to take time to tell you a little bit about myself. I have the background that you've got from Jim here, being in office, for the past 12 years. To tell you about myself, I'm married. My husband, Dan. We have 2 grown children, David and Adam. Moved to Alton in 1996. I live in the downtown Alton Business District. I've been employed for American Water for 12 years. I became a real estate agent in 2004, so I've learned the area through that route as well. I own and operate a local distributing business which services locations in the Alton and RiverBend area. My campaign at its core is about change. Why do we need change? We need change because we are faced with the same problems 12 years ago when my opponent took office. We continue to have uneven business development. We continue to suffer through abandoned homes, empty storefronts, broken roads, and high crime. We continue to be frustrated. The issues in the city cannot be fixed by focus only on downtown properties. We need a strategic and aggressive plan to resolve these issues. I believe that hurdles we face can be addressed through planning, community involvement, financial responsibility, and transparency. We must have new voices in our government to bring real solutions and energy to our problem solving, or we will continue to be plagued by this stagnant economic growth pattern we have been hung up with for the last decade. We can do better. We have waited for a plan for development. We don't have a plan yet. I haven't seen one. Not a plan that's going to take us forward and continue to move on. I mean, at this point, we're going from one thing to the next. We'll have one project, we'll get it done, and it just doesn't come together for the next one. I will work to develop a comprehensive plan for our city. I will work to find real ways to support our business districts through better marketing, urban renewal, and promoting tourism, which I feel is very important for this city. That's the one strength we have, considering we've lost all of our industry. And let's face it, folks, that's not going to come back. It's not coming back anywhere. St. Louis, anywhere. We've got to change our focus. Communities such as Grafton and St. Charles has prospered, such as with this kind of planning I'm speaking of. The city of Alton shouldn't trail behind these places. We're way too better. We're better than that. Alton shines with active community organizations willing to offer endless volunteer efforts. These organizations need a strong alderman to assist in achieving their efforts in the beautification and betterment they strive so effortlessly to maintain. Our organizations are wonderful here. I will advocate as a liaison for community organizations. It is no secret that our city has financial problems. The city has reduced its number of city workers, including our first responders, therefore compromising the welfare and safety of our citizens in an effort to save money. We need to find a solution that improves service without raising taxes. I will call for an efficiency study to identify opportunities for improvement. And I hope I have everyone's vote at the polls. At least between now and then, I would like your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, if I could have for actually Alderwoman for Ward 2, we have Carolyn Grodemeyer McAfee, Beth Johns, and Monica Mason. If they could come up, please. You get to speak first. So okay, first to speak is Carolyn Grodemeyer McAfee.
Thank you. Good evening. And first of all, I would like to thank the East End Improvement Association for sponsoring this event and thank all of you for coming. I would like to tell you about me, why I want to be your alderwoman. I am a lifelong resident of Alton and have been encouraged by neighbors and friends to run. I graduated from Alton High School and attended Lewis and Clark College. I have retired from Owens, Illinois Glass and a retired retail store manager. I have seen Alton go from good to bad, as you all know, and now it is progressing forward again. I love living in Alton and would like to be part of helping Alton be the beautiful and prosperous city it once was. I have been a Pride Incorporated board member for the last 28 years. I have served in many positions with Pride, including president and chairperson of the Pride Eye Awards and Home of the Month for the last 5 years. 4 years ago, I was appointed chairperson for Alton Beautification and Clean City Commission. I volunteer for Alton Main Street, Caravan, Friends of Haskell, Alton Area Landmarks, and help raise funds for the Lucy Playhouse. I also voluntarily maintain 3 Middletown parks. One of the parks is located at 12th and Bell Street. I hope some people have noticed that we did some improvement down there. It was once overgrown with weeds and litter. With the help of Pride Incorporated and the Alton Parks Department, it is now a beautiful park with a water garden. On my daily walks, I take the time to make sure Alton streets are clean in Middletown. I believe in keeping our streets clean, doing beautification projects around the city, improving our neighborhoods, condemning and tearing down eyesore properties. If we do these things, it will bring people and new business into our community. I am dedicated to the people of Ward 2. I will speak up if need be and not go along with the norm. I will be a 24/7 alderwoman and will answer all calls in a timely manner. The people in Ward 2 have not been represented at City Council for the last 4 years. I have the time and the energy to do whatever it takes to help and serve the residents of Ward 2 and assist the other aldermen in their wards also. At this time, I would like to ask you to vote for me as your alderwoman. Thank you, everyone.
Second to speak is candidate Beth Johns.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth Johns, and I'm running for 2nd Ward Alderman. I would like to thank the East End. Okay.
Might have to speak down in the microphone.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth Johns, and I'm running for 2nd Ward Alderman. I would like to thank the East End Improvement Association for the invitation to speak and all of you for attending. I was born and raised in Alton, and now along with my husband, am raising 3 daughters here. I am a graduate of Marquette High School, earned an associate's degree from Lewis and Clark College, and am a member of St. Mary's Church. I have worked in accounting and office management for 25 years. I have been employed with the Madison County Auditor's Office, Comprehensive Accounting, and the Woodlands Golf Course. I now own and manage a union industrial painting company doing $2 million in sales this last year. I am running for alderman because the last 4 years the residents of the 2nd Ward have not had the representation that they need. The 2nd Ward citizens need a strong voice and also a person with business management and a person that can run a successful business to represent them. Others can say they have worked on different committees, have worked well on a team, will voice your concerns, cut expenses, lower taxes, answer phone calls, and fix your problems. What they cannot say is that I have years of business experience, managed offices and staff, audited books, and started and run a successful company in today's tough economy. That is what is needed on the City Council, and I can bring that. I will bring an independent voice to the City Council and one with fresh ideas. I am motivated and hardworking with a very high expectation of myself, and I will expect that of every employee of the city. I have the tenacity to go toe-to-toe with the council members and will stand firm until the residents of the 2nd Ward are satisfied. I can and will get results. I will be responsible to the citizens of Alton, will stand up for safe and clean neighborhoods and parks, open and honest government, and be fiscally responsible. But most importantly, I have the business financial experience that is necessary to move the city forward. Know that now is the best time for your interests to come first, so I urge all of you to please vote for Beth Johns. In closing, remember when you go to the polls, remember 2 and 2. 2nd Ward Alderman, second name on the ballot. Thank you.
And third, Monica Mason, candidate for alderman.
First of all, I'd like to thank the East End Improvement Association for creating this forum tonight and giving me an opportunity to introduce myself to you. My name is Monica Mason. I'm running for Alderwoman in Ward 2. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. My husband and I moved to Alton 18 years ago. We chose to come here. Currently, I am a commissioner on the Alton Historic Commission. I'm also a board member of Alton Area Landmarks, and I'm also the chairperson for the Alton Historic House Tour, a tour that has 40 years of tradition and still going strong. My husband and I also operate a small business called Art Horse. We are a design and exhibit design and installation company. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my professional background. Most of my professional experience is in teaching. I was teaching college for 20 years from 1987 to 2007. I taught art and art history, St. Louis Community College, Lewis and Clark Community College, and SIU Edwardsville. I bring up teaching because I think it's a unique profession. It's a profession that creates the opportunities to learn a variety of skills, first and foremost communication. Communication is not just a matter of articulating ideas, but effective listening as well. And listening is very important as an alderwoman. Another skill that's developed through teaching is doing and conducting extensive research, also extensive community outreach, and also on a daily basis, collaboration and cooperation with a variety of people, some that don't always agree with you. These are important skills. I feel that these abilities would be very vital to City Council for 2 very big reasons. One, I would make carefully researched and well-informed decisions regarding policy. And number 2, I would create effective lines of communication between you and your city government. Very important issues. As an alderwoman, I'd like to capitalize on this ability in terms of communication. What I want to set up is a regular forum so that I can meet with you, the residents of Ward 2, and all local business owners of Ward 2, and discuss any concerns, any problems that you may have. I would be your liaison. I would work with you and be the voice between you and your city government, between you and building and zoning, and between you and law enforcement. I also want to work actively to attract local businesses to our area. We have all of the assets here to attract businesses and to attract tourism, but we need to be focusing our energy on how to capitalize on these assets. We have creative entrepreneurs, we have a scenic riverfront location, and we have historic and unique architecture. These things involve some creative and innovative solutions to work with as best we possibly can. I'm optimistic about the future of Alton, and I need you to work with me to capitalize on these things, to boost our economy, and to support our local businesses. I hope you'll remember me on April 9th and vote for me, Monica Mason. Thank you very much for listening.
For the third ward, if I could have Michael Veloff and Daryl McGivney come up, please. Oh. Have a seat. It is now time to pick up all the note cards. Does everybody have their note card? Anybody need to fill out one? Hey, Joe, we need a note card up here. While they're doing that, I had an interesting comment from Sam Stem not too long ago. He said that he was going to be a write-in for the Township Assessor's Office. So don't write that, Linda. That's a joke. Okay, let's go on with the program. And if I could introduce Third Ward Alderman Michael Veloff.
Good evening. I am Michael Veloff. For those who don't know me, I'm 41 years old. Excuse me. I'm too tall. I'm 41 years old. I'm married with 2 children, Claire and Kane. They're 6 and 4-year-old. My wife, Beverly. I was born and raised here in Alton. I attended St. Matthew's Grade School on Milton Road. I graduated valedictorian Alton High School, class of '89. I served in the United States Air Force. I attended Southern Illinois University at Carbondale, graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Civil Engineering. I attended the University of Kansas, graduating with a Master's in Civil Engineering. For the past 19 years, I've served in private industry as a civil engineer, and I'm currently employed with Heidemann Associates as their civil engineering manager, where I run the civil engineering department there. For the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of being the alderman for Ward 3. As alderman, I've advocated for and hope to continue to advocate for the Friends of Haskell, for the proper maintenance of Haskell House, proper maintenance of Lucy's Playhouse, and the grounds themselves. I've advocated for constituents with the Weed and Seed program to hopefully correct some of their problems in their areas, promote a stable and safe community. I've helped facilitate as an advisory board member for the Alton Main Street between the AMS and the city. I've advocated for greater Alton community development, for the street improvements on 4th Street, for the NSP houses, to promote the sale of the homes and to revitalize a block and promote a community. I applied my work experience, engineering expertise, reading contracts and proposals to help to limit the city's liability exposure and taxpayer money. I gave my opinion on contracts, leases, and easements, and amended where necessary. I performed a professional engineering review of the completed downtown parking lot and sidewalk, saving the city taxpayer future liabilities and maintenance costs. For 19 years, I've worked with many different city codes. I've offered changes to the Alton zoning code to provide adequate screening, buffer, separation between residential and commercial development, and the noise ordinance as well. Maybe we should try things that more successful cities are doing rather than keep doing the same things that we've done in the past. I've helped the former Public Works Director, Bill Kerr, negotiate engineering services contracts, saving taxpayers $24,000. I pushed for competitive bids, saving $23,000 for the survey of the Waddell Golf Course. I proposed pay cuts for the city council members in these tough financial times. And last, I believe in representation of the masses, not a few select. And with that, I say vote for Feloff, and I thank you very much for your time.
Next, candidate Daryl McGibney.
Good evening. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight on such a horrible cold night. It's good to see so many people participate in our political process. I also want to thank the East End Business Association for hosting this event to allow you to listen to each of the candidates as they bring forth their ideas to move the city of Alton forward. Some of you may know me, some of you may not. I was not born here, but spent most of my life here in Alton. I've spent the last 37 years in the 3rd Ward, in the same house, raising 4 children with my wife, Rita. I'm recently retired from the Madison County Probation Department, where I spent 34 years. During that time, I had a number of positions as a probation officer, superintendent of our juvenile detention facility, associate director and director of the department for the last 12 years of my career. During that time, our department grew to be the 2nd largest in the county with over 150 employees, a $6 million budget, supervising in 6 offices around the county and supervising over 4,000 offenders in Madison County, including Alton and the surrounding area. I tell you that because it gave me a wealth of experience in those jobs in dealing with labor management relations, personnel issues, criminal justice issues, dealing with budgets, living within budgets given to me by county board. I've gained those experiences over the last many years, which I think would hold me in good stead in dealing with some of the issues that come before the city council at the various meetings. As I said, I've retired for the last 4 years, but it hasn't kept me from being busy. 4 years ago, I was appointed to the St. Louis board, airport board. 3 months ago, I was elected chair of that board, able to work with a group of people out there supervising the airport, which has over 700 employees, $31 million budget, and an impact on the city, Bethalto, and the surrounding area, including Alton, of $135 million. I was also appointed here in the city to the Cool Cities Clean Energy Efficiency Committee, the Beautification Committee, both which have been outstanding and have been award-winning committees for doing the work dealing with beautification issues here in the city of Alton, and also in dealing with issues that cost the city a lot of money, and that's dealing with energy. Both of these committees have done outstanding work, and I've been proud to be a part of them. I'm also a member of the, running out of time here, of the, excuse me, trying to get a lot in here in a short period of time. Yeah. Behavioral Health Alternatives, Doc Holliday. Thank you, Doc. Doc and I work on an agency in Wood River that provides mental health services to those in need. Also volunteer for the Friends of Haskell, who do outstanding work. I volunteer with my daughter-in-law, Sarah McGibney, who does a magnificent job with the Main Street program as well. I'm sorry I couldn't get more in tonight. I've spent a lot of years working with the mayor and members of the city council. I was in a rush here. I hope you forgive me for that, and appreciate you coming out again, and the East End folks for hosting. Thank you very much.
To our last ward where we have a race, if I could invite Alderman David Bowles, Ramon Morales, candidate, and candidate Gary King up to the front, please. Is Gary here? Not. Okay. I'd like to introduce Alderman David Bowles, please.
As you said, my name is David Bowles. I'm currently the 7th Ward Alderman seeking re-election. I'd like to thank the sponsors of the forum for allowing me to speak tonight. And I could, how's that, better? Okay. I could stand here tonight and talk about extensive gutter work on the streets of the 7th Ward, overlaying the streets, fighting blight and crime, but those are a given. I've done that for the past 3 terms, and I'll continue doing that if I'm reelected. Excuse me. I'd like to tonight talk about a committee that I was appointed to in 2008, the Climate Protection and Energy Efficiency Committee. I got about 3 pages of things here to talk about, but I'll have to make a little synopsis of this. First of all, anytime I mention money or grants, I'd like to thank Matt Osselmeyer, if he's here, sure somewhere. He's our grant writer and our secretary for our committee. First of all, we received a grant for $67,000 from ConocoPhillips, which we purchased 2 hybrid vehicles, one for the fire chief and one for the city planner. Received a grant for $60,000 for variable speed controls for the sewer plant. They have several 300 horsepower motors that run 24 hours a day, and by allowing us to idle them down a little bit, we've saved over $100,000. We worked on lighting grants for the Public Works building and received a $62,000 grant there to change all the ballast and the fluorescent lights out there and saved a lot of money. Worked on electric car charging station, a grant for that, which that's one we didn't get, but one of our members, Jeff Dale, and his brother donated the charger for us, and it's getting a lot of use. One of our biggest ones here, we've saved over $1 million thanks to Bill Kelly and Ameren reducing the cost of our electricity for energy usage in the city. He purchases our electricity from different companies at different times and gets the best deal for us. We drafted and adopted climate action plans. This is to reduce our carbon footprint. We've explored further opportunities improving energy efficiency in street lights in downtown, and we just got a grant last week for $11,000. Thanks again, Matt. Reduced our carbon dioxide emission by 82,747 metric tons by selecting 100% renewable energy sources in electric aggregation program. If you did not opt out of the aggregation program, you have 100% green energy from windmills, photovoltaic. We worked on allied waste to expand residential recycling and improve aesthetic appearances of the community. The recycling rate increased from 89% from a 5-month period from 2012 compared to the same time frame of 2011. By the way, the 7th Ward is the biggest recycler in the city. This year we received 2 awards, one from Sierra Club and the Illinois Cool Cities, and received an award called the Care About Air Award. We researched ordinance related to pertaining to chickens or hens for private egg production, researched model ordinances for permitting solar and wind energy systems for private and residential use. And that was our meeting today. We meet on the second the first Tuesday of the month. See my lights on. The first Tuesday of the month, and it is open to the public. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. And please, April 9th, get out and vote. Thank you.
Candidate Ramon Morales.
Can everyone hear me all right? I want to thank the East End for doing this tonight, and thank you all for showing up. My name is Ramon Morales. I'm also known as Ray. I am 43 years old. I was born in Alton and have lived in Alton all my life. I've resided in the 7th Ward for over 30 years. I've been married for 17 years. I married Keisha Martine. She is a second grade teacher here in the Alton School District. My family has lived in Alton for over 80 years. My father was Michael Morales. He was involved in the Alton community as a volunteer for many different organizations. He was a commercial artist, did many of the window fronts in downtown Alton when we had stores down there during Christmas time. He was a baseball, soccer coach for the Alton Park and Rec. I attended St. Matthew's Catholic Grade School and graduated from Alton High. I also attended Lewis and Clark Community College and Bradley University. When people hear my last name, Morales, they say, "What are you, the taco guy or the plumbing guy?" I am proud to say that I am part of Morales Tacos, thank you, which has been an Alton tradition for over 30 years. We thank you for that. In 2001, we opened Ole Morales Tacos in downtown Alton. I am currently the president of Madison County Licensed Beverage Association and have held this position for the past 7 years. Our association is made up of any business that holds a liquor license. Many of our members are bars, restaurants, convenience stores, hotels, and even nightclubs. I also continue my work with small business as a local business marketing consultant and a mobile application developer for small businesses. I've worked in the hospitality industry for over 25 years, everything from fast food restaurants to movie theaters to casinos. As a young adult, I learned how to communicate, interact, and listen to many types of people. As your alderman, I look forward to being accessible, listening to your concerns and issues, and working with you to reach solutions. Over the years, Alton's population has decreased, and many of my friends and fellow Alton High graduates have chosen to leave Alton. They have chosen to reside outside Alton in communities like Godfrey, Bethalto, and Edwardsville. My wife and I have chosen to stay here in Alton, and we will continue to stay here in Alton. As your alderman, I will work to improve the image of Alton, starting with the 7th Ward. We need to make Alton desirable and create a welcoming environment to new businesses, new residents, and new ideas. My name is Ramon Morales, and I appreciate your vote on April 9th. Thank you.
Thank you. That precludes our program as far as the alderman candidates. And so I don't think the questions are ready quite yet. I'm getting a no. So why don't we take about a 5-minute break, if we may, and we'll start in about 5 minutes. Okay, let's get started again. Everybody hear me? How about back in the corner? Got it. Okay, we have 6 questions. What the members did, they basically took the questions that were asked and separated them, and there were only about 4 or 5, 6 topics, actually 6 topics, basically, and more or less made them so that there were no similarities or no duplications, and made sure that they were to the issues of the city. So with that, if I could invite Mayor Tom Hakes, candidate Brant Walker, and candidate Jackie Morris up to the podium, please. As mentioned earlier, we'll have the candidates speak for 5 minutes on any issue that they of their choice, and the order is going to be on how they appear on the ballot. So Mayor Hakes will be first, and then it'll be alphabetical, so it will be Jackie Morse and then Brant Walker third. So if I could invite Mayor Hakes to the podium, please.
Well, thank you. Good evening. I want to thank you for attending, and I also want to thank the East End for putting this forum on. I am proud to be the mayor of Alton, and I'm extremely optimistic about our future. There's an old saying that when a politician starts telling you what he was going to do for you, ask him what he has done for you. 4 years ago, I told you I would do everything in my power to right Alton's financial ship. When I came into this office, Alton had a $2.6 million deficit out of a $29 million budget. We could not meet our final obligations, and we were only months away from not being able to pay our city employees. We immediately cut expenses, and all city employees agreed to wage freezes. We learned how to do more with less. While gaming revenues were at their lowest since 1993. Matter of fact, our gaming revenues were $4 million less per year than they were in 2007. We also have made full payments to our police and fire pensions. This is about $3 million more than it was 3 years ago when I came into office. Today we have nearly eliminated the deficit I inherited, and the city has learned to live within its means. That's progress. Most importantly, though, we did not balance this budget on the back of the taxpayers. 4 years ago I said creating jobs would be my priority, and that is exactly what I have done. The Simmons Law Firm, for example. My administration put together an incentive package which allowed them to renovate a building which had been vacant for 5 years. They had options, but they chose Alton, and they brought 225 jobs to town. The historic Sears Snyder building was vacant for 25 years. My administration encouraged and supported the revitalization of that building. Now there were 30 jobs created with 35 more on the horizon. That's progress. The old Olympic Bank building on 3rd Street was vacant for years. Now it is the North American headquarters for a high-tech eye care manufacturer from Switzerland. They have future expansion on the horizon already with more job creation. That's progress. We have continued to work with Imperial Manufacturing Company. They are doubling their workforce to 185. American Water Company has also expanded significantly in the last 4 years and now has more than 530 jobs. The Farmer Owens, Illinois site, now which we call Alton Center Business Park, now there is more than 670 jobs. 670 jobs. That is a significant increase over the last 4 years. Alton Steel is steadily advancing and adding more jobs with a workforce now of 310. That's progress. ASCON has invested more than $20 million, adding 36 mostly union jobs with benefits just in the last year. That's progress. I will continue to make bringing jobs to Alton my top priority. I told you 4 years ago I would make our neighborhoods safer, and that was a priority. We have torn down over 200 derelict structures, working as fast as the court system allows us. These buildings were unsafe. They attract crime. Each of those neighborhoods is a better place to be now. Once again, progress. Alton's crime rate, it is the lowest point in 17 years, despite what other people might tell you. It's been a decrease of 17% just since I took office. My goal is to drive that crime rate even lower. Now is not the time to take a step backward on crime. We fought for and we attracted $22 million of federal and state money for the Wadlow Town Center, which will aid us in developing 59 acres, bringing new businesses to Alton while creating more tax revenue and jobs. We cannot let that project fall apart, and we must continue to go full steam ahead. We need to make sure the Hotel Convention Center on our riverfront keeps moving forward. Again, that'll be more jobs, more revenues, and more enhancement to our riverfront. I promised that I would improve our finances, and we have. I promised we would make our neighborhoods safer, and we have. I promised to bring jobs to Alton, and I have. Over 500 of them to be exact, or to be very generous. Election's ultimately a choice. My opponent in this election has not offered one proposal about bringing jobs to Alton, has not offered one idea about keeping our finances in order, has not offered one idea of solutions to help keep our neighborhoods safe. So you can choose on one hand a vague vision which offers obvious goals but no specifics, or you can choose a candidate that has shown leadership and he kept his promises by delivering the results he said he would. I am proud of the progress we have made, and I'm asking for your support on April the 9th. I'll keep working hard to deliver, and together we will keep Alton moving forward. Thank you. I don't want to take your notes, Steve. Make sure I don't have yours there, buddy. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you. Next to speak is candidate Jackie Morris.
Some of you probably thought a female is running for mayor. Sorry to disappoint you. When I took my shower, I looked. I'm most definitely a guy. I'm new at this political whatever, so forgive for if I don't act like a politician, the average politician. One of the things I would like to do as mayor is reduce the mayor's salary to $42,000 a year. The current mayor and my opponents, they're saying that elect him for $88,000, they'll run this town like a business. But to me, I'll take a pay cut to be mayor. Would my opponents commit that much? You can ask later. One of the things I would like to do other than that, with the reduction in the mayor's salary, to also reduce the alderman, city clerk, and treasurer's salary. With cuts, they would come about a little over $100,000 cut, which could be retargeted in another department's budget. Namely, it would restore the DARE program within the police department. It would, and we'd have the money so we wouldn't have to mug the people of Godfrey for a check to put on the fireworks. We'd have the money ourselves. Wouldn't have to ask Godfrey for the money. I would also be a regular guest on WBGZ. That is the only way I know how to stay in touch other than reading what's in the Telegraph and the Advantage. Some of you might remember me grace the pages of the Telegraph in the past, namely the letter to the editor section. Some of you might remember the Morris Chestnut War in the 90s, which I won. One of the things I would do is commission a report on how the city could go into the ambulance business without raising taxes on the people of Alton. We could get grants to pay for both ambulances. Some of you might remember reading in the paper an article where someone had to wait a half hour for an ambulance simply because no one was available, Lifestar nor Alton Memorial. If I'm elected mayor, one of the things I would try to do is raise the money it would take to reopen the Grand Theater. If we're spending money, no city tax dollars would be used in that. I would also, and what I would do, I'm not going to claim this idea, but someone I know, Miss Amanda Wade, she suggested that instead of a weed-infested jungle of the old Joseline Projects area, turn that area into a park for neighborhood children. I guess my time's about up. So I'll just leave you. If you have any questions, please ask. Thank you.
Next to speak is candidate Brant Walker.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brant Walker, and I'm a write-in for candidate for mayor of Alton. I'd like to begin by thanking the East End Improvement Association, the Telegraph, WBGZ Radio, the RiverBender.com for sponsoring this event, and mostly thank you all for coming out on this cold night and taking an interest in politics in Alton and the direction of our city. I'm here tonight to discuss with you my vision for Alton's future and what we can do to ensure that Alton is a city in which every citizen who works hard can build a future for themselves and their family. Now, I haven't spent my life going along to get along with Alton's political system, as you guys have probably seen in the papers recently. And as you'll probably be able to tell from my speaking ability, I am no career politician. I come to this race not from a political perspective, but that from a small business owner with over 20 years of successful business development under my belt. I am not running for mayor because I need a job. I am not running for mayor because I need a pension or because I want a political career. I am running because I care deeply about this city, and I want it to be a city where my daughter and every child can grow and prosper. For too long, Alton has been allowed to fall behind its neighbors because our political leaders have been more concerned about maintaining their own power than moving Alton forward for every citizen. Our unemployment rate continues to run above 10%, our neighborhoods are weakened by stagnation, and our crime rate is well above national average. As a small business owner, homeowner, and father, I believe we can and must do a better job of ensuring that every citizen has a stake in this city's success, not just those who have access to the halls of power. This city must be a place where the rules are applied equally to everyone and where we work together in a collaborative effort to ensure not only our success, but that of our children. To move Alton forward and build a stronger future for ourselves and our children, we must concentrate on three pillars. First, we must refocus our business development strategy on retention and expansion of existing businesses while creating a business climate that encourages new growth and investment. I've spent over 15 years in the employment industry helping people find work. It is one thing to talk about jobs, it's another to have the record of developing business necessary to provide opportunities to hardworking people. Just last year, my business put nearly 200 people to work at various companies throughout this region. In order to create good paying jobs and foster economic growth, we must work to promote and again strengthen our existing businesses while utilizing tools such as small business incubators that help promising entrepreneurs start new businesses in our area, And we must also look to new areas in the economy, such as the green technology sector. Second, we must invest in our neighborhoods because they are the backbone of our city. City government must develop a comprehensive plan to develop our neighborhoods block by block, instead of tearing the structure down here, running across town, and tearing down another structure. Random lots through our city do nothing to help our city grow. We must work with developers and individuals to replace these substandard buildings with affordable housing that promotes homeownership and allows our neighborhoods to grow and prosper. Finally, we must renew our city's government's commitment to providing citizens of Alton with a safe, prosperous environment in which to work, live, and raise a family. City government's first responsibility is the safety of its citizens. We recently heard that the city was going to renew its commitment to fighting crime. Well, I say we shouldn't have to renew that commitment because we should have never let it lapse. We must be ever vigilant. We must be ever vigilant in working with the community to prevent crimes in our city before they happen, rather than being reactive to crimes after they happen. We must work better to integrate our community in our efforts to ensure a safe, prosperous city. And that means ensuring that our police officers are out of their cars, getting to know our business owners and getting to know our residents and working together to identify problems so we can solve them before they start. I look forward to tonight's discussion, these and other issues, and I hope I will be able to earn your vote, or as a write-in vote in April, to move Alton forward for every citizen. Even with the challenges we face, I have a great faith in our city and its people. And I know if we work together in a collaborative effort, we can move Alton forward to make it towards the steps of a safer, stronger, more prosperous Alton. Thank you.
Okay, now we go into the question period of the format. And each candidate, we have 6 questions. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to respond to each question. And question number 1, we'll do that in an alternative method. And question number 1, first to start, will be Jackie Morris. So the question is, how will you address the budget issues the city is facing?
As the city clerk and Matt know, I've been getting copies of the budget every year. What I think as a candidate, someone who may not know all the rules and regulations, but I want to listen more than just act. Cutting the budget is an amiable position, but it shouldn't be just from the bottom up, from the top down. That's why I want to be mayor, to reduce elected officials' salaries, then have the money to other projects like parks, like Ms. Wade suggested, turning areas, the Jocelyn projects, into a park for the neighborhood kids to play in. I would analyze every department. If it means auditing the books, to audit the books. Like I said in my initial speech, I'm not well schooled in the political language or whatever.
Next to speak is Brent Walker.
We've heard recently that our budget is stabilizing, but we still have almost a $600,000 deficit. The last 4 years, we have heard a lot about shared sacrifice from this administration, but the actions don't match the rhetoric. The past 4 years, the mayor's appointees' pay raises at City Hall have been an average of 8.75%. For someone in the employment industry over particularly these last 4 years, I don't know anyone who's gotten an 8.75% raise. The city's own external audit says the city of Alton does not have the personnel who are adequately trained or possess the necessary knowledge that enables the preparation of the city's financial statements and disclosure in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Based on our city's own external audit, taxpayers, I have to wonder exactly what's happening with our tax dollars. And the mayor's way of fixing the budget recently, and more often, has been cutting city services. Well, folks, if we cut too much, we'll kill the tree. I have experience in working within a budget to deliver goods and services in a timely, effective manner. The way to fix our budget is through business development, through bringing in new streams of revenue, new businesses into the city. That's where I excel. I have over 20 years of successful business development experience. I've been running my business for the last 15 years, and that's what I do best. Thank you.
Next to speak, Mayor Tom Hakes.
Read that question
The question is, how will you address the budget issues the city is facing?
Well, if you're paying attention, we've already done that. I don't know where Mr. Walker got his figures, but let me tell you this. When I walked into the door, there were 289 employees in the city of Alton, and nobody from the custodian all the way up to the top of my department heads has got any more of a raise than anybody else, which is about 1 and 1.5%. I want you to be able to prove that, Mr. Walker. We shared this sacrifice straight, I don't want to see that. We shared this sacrifice straight across the board. Nobody in this organization is more important than anybody else. It takes a team to make this work. We stepped up. If we wouldn't have made the tough decisions we did, which were very unpopular with some people, we ended up having to lay 5 Teamsters off, and about a year and a half later, we had 3 firemen off for a few weeks. I think maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure. If we wouldn't have made those choices, 289 people wouldn't have had a paycheck. We had to sacrifice the lamb. It just the way the union seniority works is the 5 guys on the bottom had to take the hit. We had people retiring. We offered some incentives for people to quit. We were operating. We not only got hit with a $2.6 million deficit that year. The state of Illinois owed us $800,000, which they still owe us today. Our pensions went up $2 million a year. And the gaming revenue was down $4 million. Now, I don't know how you can add, but you do that in your head pretty quick the way you did those raises, and you're going to come up with about $8 million. That's what we were short, $8 million. Just the first year. We have erased that deficit. We are operating with about 24% less employees, and we're clicking on all cylinders. There's been no public safety compromised. Our fire departments and our police departments are running very effectively. Our public works, you just witnessed what they did to the snowstorm, working very effectively. We're clicking on all cylinders, and we're doing it within our budget.
For the effort of time, if I could have you hold your applause until after all the candidates have spoken. So, next question will be again, Mayor. You'll talk first. How will you administer the development of the land around the former Wadlow Golf Course?
Okay, as I said earlier in my opening remarks, what we did is we went out and we fought hard for it. Alton came in 14th in the United States of America in grant money on the Tiger Grant. That means you've got great grant writers, and we had great people put that together. Compliments go to Phil Rosio, Greg Caffey, Matt. We worked hard on this project for over 2.5 years, and then we got another $7.8 million from IDOT. This is going to be a tremendous project. What this amounts to is we have 59 acres of developable property on the Beltline that if we went to do it and put the sewer lines in, the water lines in, pave the roads, the curbs, the gutters, the electricity, we couldn't afford to do it. It would be years and years. This money is federal grant money that was going to go to somebody, somewhere. We had the best application and we had the best project. That's why we got that money. Can you imagine what that value of that property is worth with sewer lines, water lines, electricity, roads, curbs, gutters? You have a developable site now that people can walk in and boom, start building up. And that will definitely happen. If you didn't see the article in the Post-Dispatch Sunday, ridership on small trips, which they consider 400 miles or less on Amtrak, is up just last year again by 111%. I'll guarantee you when the new train station opens up, you'll be able to go from St. Louis to Chicago faster than you can go to the airport, sit and wait for your plane, fly into Midway, get a shuttle bus, and go into Chicago. And you can do your homework and your work which the business community will be doing. You can take your laptops, the Wi-Fi, and instead of that sitting around and waiting around in airports, you'll be able to do that. But the main thing is the business development this is going to bring. The new business opportunities is what's important to us. Thank you.
Next to speak is Jackie Morris.
What I would do, I would listen to the people who live around the golf course or park or whatever you're going to call it. People who some people, when it comes to the train station, we need a new one, because if you've used our current train station, parking's at a premium, and I'm sure the people who live near it aren't thrilled at times when they had to park somewhere else or walk somewhere to get in their cars, or if company comes having them have to find a parking spot somewhere else other than the housing where you live, where you want to raise your families. That's about all. Thank you.
Next will be Brant Walker.
I think the train station is going to be a great idea for the Alton community. Getting a Tiger grant is great. I strongly support investing in new infrastructure. We must make Alton a destination, and part of high-speed rail can be a big boost in heading in that direction. But then again, I went to all the meetings, and a lot of what we've been trying to talk about, because we've been detracted in this election by various other things like billing issues. But it's another example of a project that is more or less of a patchwork approach to development. We need to have a development plan that includes the whole site. We have 59 acres. I went to all the meetings at City Hall with regards to this issue. Right now, what we've got is build the train station and they'll come. I went to one meeting. They were going to have a 125 or 130 foot buffer with sound barriers. By the third meeting, that buffer was down to 25 or 30 feet with bushes. I would have liked to seen the citizens of the Muni Vista area be taken, I guess, have more of a say in what happens in that area, because it is going to have a heavy impact on their homes. We also haven't been given answers to how the new train station is going to be paid for. That means after this development comes in, one, we don't have a plan right now what's going to be on the rest of the property, Or two, when they leave, it's our train station. How is that going to be paid for? There was a citizen that had property or lived in the Munifesti area, asked the mayor, what are we going to do with the cost after we leave? The mayor's response was, I'm not concerned about how it gets paid for. I actually took a trip to Bloomington Normal, the new train station, and actually talked to the people up there in their business development. They had a complete comprehensive plan from attaching their city hall to the train station, to the hotel that was going to be there, to its actual location, that when you exit that train with a parking garage, you can actually walk out into their downtown area and have access to everything. They had a complete plan before they broke ground for every single acre that that train station was going to be involved with.
The third question is, what are your long-range plans for the business development and housing of Alton? Brant Walker, be first to speak.
Business development housing is one of the biggest issues we face. And it's going to be, that's probably going to be the toughest thing we have because they both go hand in hand. Without solid business development, without good housing, they kind of, neither one of them operate in a vacuum. One of the areas I think you'll pick up from me in my experience is I have run a successful business. I am not coming to this from a political standpoint, but from a small business owner standpoint. I know how to create business. I know what businesses look for. When we go to, we've got to bring our numbers down, not only in housing, as our housing approaches 40, 50% rental, the random vacant lots, our crime indexes are well above national average. I think if we even go to if you go to a website like Neighborhood Scout, they rank our city a 7. With 100 being the possible safest city to live in, we rate a 7, and we have the highest crime rating in the Riverbend area. We are going to have to bring that down, and I think that's going to come from a community policing model where we get the police working together with the community in a collaborative effort to work things out together. Also, with regards to business development, I know what businesses look for. When they come to look at towns like Edwardsville, Grafton, Godfrey, our numbers have to be in line. Our city has to shine. When we bring businesses here to tour our city, we can't have litter in the street. We can't have weeds in the sidewalks. We have to have everybody functioning on the same page, and the city has to shine. Thank you.
Next to speak, Mayor Tom Hakes.
First of all, I'd like to say, if you were listening in the opening remarks about many of the businesses that have invested in this community, I would be willing to say that Alton, Illinois, since 2009, and we were in a recession in 2009, and we're still in the tail end of that, I would put Alton, Illinois up against any city in the United States of America with a population of we got for private money being invested. Private money, not public money. Now, public money, you can mention that too. As Jim Ryan said, how many cities do you know that have 2 hospitals, and actually, in a way, you might say 3? Those hospitals have invested well over $100 million in the last 4 years. Our school systems are investing money. The dental school is investing $9 million in Alton. Target invested $4 million. Simmons invested $10 million. Ascon invested just over $20 million. The Frews, a couple million here, a couple million there. We're talking some pretty serious money here, folks. And every one of these places has created jobs when they do it. We have a comprehensive plan. It's a lot easier to say that what you'd like to do, and it's hard to do it. And everything you do takes money. Never lose sight of that. Anything you go to do takes money. My friend here is talking about mowing down blocks of homes and for redevelopment instead of picking off what we can. You've got to remember one thing. People live in that house. We're not the Gestapo. I don't go up to you and say, I'm tearing your house down because the three next to it look bad. We don't operate that way. We've picked off and we're choosing our lots as we can. Again, it costs money. We get those houses, some in foreclosure. Some lending institutions have donated them to us. Some we buy for a minimal amount of money, $2,500, $3,500. But it's just like trimming the old rose bush. You got to cut the dead wood off before you're going to flourish again, and that's exactly what we're doing. And you're going to see more houses built and more infrastructure over the next 4 years than you can imagine.
Next to speak is candidate Jackie Morse.
Some of the businesses I would like to see come to Alton. How about a Dobbs Tire and Auto? The perfect site for that business is the old Alton Candidate property. Another business that could come to Alton is a Barnes & Noble bookstore. Edwardsville has a bookstore. I haven't been there yet, but it would be nice if Alton had its own bookstore where people can go and read books or get whatever they sell. Another business I would like to see come to Alton is an old-time pottery store. You always get their ads in the paper, but how many wants to go to Fairview Heights just to look at the store? Another business could be a Stone Cold Creamery, an ice cream store. Both the Barnes & Noble bookstore, the old-time pottery store, and the Stone Cold Creamery could be built near Alton Square, either at or near the site of the mall. Thank you.
I think he's playing up to my wife to go shopping.
Fourth question is, what are your plans to continue the decrease in crime rates, or to decrease the crime rate? First up, candidate Jackie Morse.
As for stopping crime, I would empower the police department to be more active in the community. That we have an officer here watching over us. We also, if somebody like a president of the United States came to Alton, he'd have his own security. But to reduce crime, we have to have the people's help. If you see a crime happening, call the police. If you don't want to get involved but want to call the anonymous tip line, that would also include drug dealers. When I used to work at McDonald's on Broadway, the drug dealers would come down there and use the payphone to do their criminal activities. Thank you.
Next to speak, candidate Brant Walker.
As I touched on a little bit before, and I was kind of lapsing over because none of these challenges we face all operate in a vacuum. They operate harmoniously. Business development will come as crime drops down, and housing will come as all of those come together. I'd mentioned the website, neighborhoodscout.com. And they do use the FBI's uniform crime reports to formulate rankings. And we do have the worst crime index in the Riverbend area. And it is a 7 out of a possible 100. And for me, that is unacceptable as a father of a 13-year-old daughter. The mayor's argument lately with the argument on crime reduction is intellectually dishonest because he is comparing statistics that are reported completely differently than they were 20 years ago. Let me give you an example. 20 years ago, if your home was broken into, you were assaulted, and they stole your car. That used to count as 3 instances of crime. That now counts as 1. The mayor said we are recently renewing our commitment to combating crime. And as I stated earlier, we shouldn't have to renew that commitment because we should never let it lapse. As many of you may have known, I had a small incident of vandalism at my house a few weeks ago. And someone throwing a rock through my front door. And I remember it was Thursday morning. I had to tell my daughter about the incident because they study current events at school. And it would be in the front page of the newspaper. I'm sure it would have been in the paper. And I think that's a conversation that I would like to see a city that no father or any parent has to have with their child. I believe that a more community-based policing model in which the officers do get to know our business owners and do get to know our residents, we will help us work to identify problems and stop crime before they happen. Also, I believe there is a need to mainstream and constantly upgrade our technologies. There was an instance, I think just a few weeks ago, when the police officers, the police department's servers were down for almost 10 days. That should never happen because that can very significantly limits their ability to communicate. So we must stay up on technology, and we must embrace different ways of policing our community. Crime also comes through economic growth, which I was trying to tie them all together before, but that's hard to do in 2 minutes. Thank you.
Mayor Tom Hanks.
Well, as I said before earlier, and we don't write the rules, the FBI writes the rules. But the crimes that we report to the FBI, I can tell you, are down 17.5% in the last 17, or, I'm sorry, more than that, I'm going to say 17% in the last 4 years. How many times has somebody thrown a rock through a window that you see make the newspaper? Now, if this gentleman wouldn't have been a mayoral candidate, that's not news. That's a random act of violence or vandalism. That's not a big deal. Those kind of things happen all the time. I'm sorry it happened, but that's not newsworthy in the newspaper. Sorry, but every time somebody throws a rock through a window, it's not front page news. I hate to tell you that. What we can dwell on is the fact that again, we get sometimes facts mixed up here, but our crime has dropped 17.5% in the last 4 years. It doesn't matter if your crime was here or here, 17% reduction is a huge reduction. And if we can continue that, we're going to be fine. And I think we can. And Jackie hit on a great topic. Make no mistake that you play a very important role in fighting crime. When you see something happen, call the police. Turn it in. Don't turn your head. Don't look the other way. There's only so many policemen on the street, and they can't be everywhere at once. So you have to turn that in. We started a weed and seed program under Mayor Sandage. When the government money ran out, we continue to fund that weed and seed program. And it's a very important tool in stabilizing our neighborhoods where people come, give us their complaints, there's police officers there, and then the next day we can go out, or the next couple of days, and follow up and feed on that information they give us. Thank you.
Fifth question has to do with the personnel within the city. What is your philosophy in personnel and department heads? Mayor?
Well, I'm not sure. That's kind of a tricky question. but I'll tell you, we've brought a level of professionalism to our departments that we have never had before in the city of Alton. I don't believe I have a department head in the city, whether it be a police chief, fire chief, public works, human resources, economic development. Every one of my people has a master's degree. These are educated people. The world is changing, and you have to change with it. And as technology came in over the last 4 years, the days are gone by if you gave a buddy a job or your neighbor's daughter a job because they helped vote for you. Those days are over. You have to be able to do the technology today. When we do a job description, and we're rewriting our job descriptions constantly because of the IT is such a huge part of the world today. You have to have computer knowledge. When people say, well, there's no jobs, what are you qualified to do? There are a lack of jobs, and there's always going to be a lack of jobs. But people who get the education, who have those management skills, a good part of management is listening. We get a lot of complaints. We don't get a whole lot of people that call up, and we get some that just every day say, boy, you're doing a great job, rah, rah, rah. Most of our people that call in have a complaint or they have a suggestion, and it's up to us to follow up on that. And we have a system to do that. We have a gentleman, Matt Assemeyer, who also has a master's degree, who funnels all that information to the correct department head. He funnels that information back to the person who made the request, and then we have a time frame. And if that isn't followed up with in a week to get back to that person, he sends you a notice and says, overdue. What are we going to do about this? So we keep in constant contact with all of our citizens. Thank you.
Next to speak is candidate Jackie Morris.
As mayor, one of the things I would encourage all department heads to do, sit down with your people and go over the department's budget and get their input as to what could be changed, what could be improved, what could they do without, and give them. One of the things I've learned in life is the word empowerment. That is the greatest word in my life. That we give the employees a voice in the department. It would help them be a better employee because they know their bosses listen to them. They don't just say, do this, do this. I would, like I said, I would listen to the employees because they probably know something better than the department head. It's a part of being a person. Well, my time is almost up, so I think I'll just leave.
And next is candidate Brent Walker.
With regards to the personnel in the city, currently I do have short list that I'm considering, but contrary to some of the rumors that have been spread by this administration, I have not and I will not promise anyone a job to win an election. I simply will not get involved in that kind of corrupt politics. And as the mayor said, we do have a lot of talented people working for the city. And when we do win, anybody that would like to reapply for the position in the city, I look forward to talking to you and discussing your job and how we can move this city forward. Also, I will sit down with all employees in the departments to discuss the positives and the negatives that they feel happen in their department before coming to a decision on department heads. I would also like to just put out there, I am not interested in privatizing any of the city's critical services. Another thing that I think you'll find a huge benefit with me as mayor is I have 15 years of experience in the employment industry finding qualified candidates and placing them with companies and helping those organizations move forward. I look forward to taking that expertise to the city and identifying candidates and putting them in the right positions to help this city move forward for each and every citizen in our city. Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to our last question, and that is, why should the citizens of Alton elect me or you as mayor? Brant? First to speak is Brant Walker.
Excuse me, I didn't get a chance to get a drink of water after that one. Again, like I said previously when we opened up, I haven't spent my life, going along to get along in the political system here in Alton. I come to this race from a small business owner's perspective, and I have over 20 years of successful business development experience throughout this region and also as a recruiter throughout this nation, placing qualified people throughout the country. I do have a unique perspective of what it's like to work within a budget, and believe me, the last few years it's been a very tight budget, but I have still delivered services and products timely, efficiently, and effectively. Also, as part of my time living here in Alton, because I chose to live here nearly 20 years ago, as one of my hobbies, I also have a unique perspective on restoring older properties in Alton. So I understand not only from a business perspective what it's going to take to develop business, but also one of the problems we face in the city is our housing. I have been working on housing in this community for almost 15 years, so I have a good handle on what it takes to restore and refurbish this city and make it a great place to live. Thank you.
Next up is Mayor Tom Hakes.
Thank you. Well, I think I've earned my stripes. I think that we've proven what we can do. 4 years ago, we told you what we were going to do, and we did it, as I said earlier. We told you we were going to create jobs, and we have. We told you we were going to stabilize our neighborhoods, and we have. We told you we were going to reduce crime, and we have. We told you we were going to have economic development, and we have. And we have a lot of other projects on the drawing board right now. When we were talking before about the Wadlow Town Center, when Mr. Walker said, well, we don't have a comprehensive plan. Let me tell you, the day after it was on the front page of the Telegraph that we were awarded that grant, I could have sold every acre out there within 1 week. Had calls the next day for people, I'll take an acre, I'll take two. We said, no, we don't want to do that. We want to develop that area comprehensively. We have a plan. We don't want to go out there slipshod and have somebody build a Motel 6 or something that we really didn't want because they were willing to pay the price for the property, and then 5 years later say, gosh, we should have never done that. We are comprehensively developing that site. This project is going to come to fruition, hopefully, I would think within the next 5 or 6 weeks, where we can really get down to doing the hard work that's going to take the elbow grease to get this project done. We do have a plan for who's going to pay for that. We do have a plan for what's going to go there. We have a plan for everything we do, and we have had since day one. But most importantly is I've got 220 people still working because we had a plan to correct our finances.
And the last answer tonight goes to candidate Jackie Morris.
Like I said before, one of my ideas is to restore the Grand Theater. If you read tonight's paper, you'll notice there was something about historical buildings meetings on the 12th. Well, I'll be there, and I'm sure many of you will. And hopefully my opponents would show up. But I would like to bring back some of the old memories of this town. I've been around this town for 53 years. I was born here, I was raised here, and right now I'm unemployed, but I'm applying for the job of mayor. And I might need Mr. Walker's help in finding a job.
You're doing great.
But you get the point. Thank you.
That is the end of the questions for the for the mayor. I got a red light. I would. That ends the program. I would like to say a couple of thank yous and end in a comment. First of all, John Keller on the lights and the timing. I'd like to thank the committee on everybody that helped me work on this. Joe Hanahan, Ricky Soboleski, Rich Gillespie, Jeff Lordson, John Keller, Jim Hofert. But I thank you very much. I hope I didn't leave anybody off.
Dr. Shear.
Oh, Dr. Shear? Yes, I apologize. With that said, good luck to all the candidates. I want to thank you very much for coming, all the candidates getting up here and speak. Wish them all good luck. Thank you for coming, for you people, for the audience, for coming tonight. Thank you very much. I know that this probably goes without saying because you are involved, you're here, and so you're very interested in Alton politics and the city. But get everybody out to vote. It's important that you vote, and I'll leave it with that. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.